Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Jason and I have an awesome video plan for you guys today. So we're going to get into the charts. I'm going to share my screen with you guys in a second. We're going to talk about Jason's trade on Euro AUD yesterday. We're going to talk about my trade on GBP AUD today, following that same bias. We're going to talk about how we read the trend, how the entries lined up, the whole thing. But before we get into that, I was just kind of shooting the shit with Jason a little bit, catching up, asking him about what he's really felt he's grown in, or what he's seen in his own reflection of his own trading that stands out. And he said something a second ago that I was like, yeah, we got to just jump on and start the video. So we're talking about selectivity, and he was speaking about how really we are, as human beings, almost wired to be greedy as traders when we get to the desk, where we want to trade. But it also feeds into that paradox that we've talked about often, which is that as traders, we think that the more we trade, the more money we're going to make. But that isn't the case in this business. So how, in your trading recently, Jace, has that stood out to you? Keep going on what you were saying, if you don't mind.
With I guess just pulling the trigger, it's just I realize as human beings, we are emotional wrecks basically, because we don't want to follow rules. We have each trader tries to have a trading plan and follow those rules, but
Sure.
you still see traders break the rules. I sometimes break the rules,
Right.
and I'm gonna admit to that. And
Right.
so as us, as humans, we don't like following the rules. We just basically following our emotions, our instincts basically, and oh, I feel like I need to make money, I need to get on this move.
I feel like I'm going to miss this move, I need to get into this trade right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been getting those feelings too.
I think everybody does. No, but
yeah,
I think everybody does. Anyone that says they don't feel those emotions is lying. You know what I'm saying? You have to feel them, but you got to control your decision making around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so it's just a whole paradigm shift in my head where I thought, why am I feeling those emotions? I could just stop those emotions from happening by stepping away from the chart. Literally, you're
Just
getting those
walking
emotions
away
by a stupid candle going up and down. You can
Right.
literally shut down your computer and you're not going to feel those emotions anymore.
So have you been walking away some days when you're not finding setups? Do you just get up and take a break? I know you just got up and took a break between the Forex stuff and the stock market opening up in 15 minutes. So do you use some time in between the markets to shower, go get yourself it's almost like a new man when you come back, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I do, because bro, I'm looking at a chart and I'm getting those emotions, and then I get pissed. I was like, why am I feeling those stupid emotions? So literally I slam my computer, I'm out. I cannot deal with my emotions, because I've been an emotional trader for quite some time, and sometimes people have the gift of not being really emotional, which is good for them. But for me, I've really struggled with that. So what I have to do is just basically step out of the charts, go do something, and it just basically get my mind in the right, kind of in the mindset again. Because again, it's just you're people think, oh, I'm good, I'm not going to click that button. But once you're in that chart and you're literally watching and you're like,
sit there for 3 hours, right? 3 hours into it, it's hard to still, and then imagine, at least for me, I know it's always been the end of the week, come Thursday, Friday, I get super antsy, and that's the days where I'm normally giving back trades. And I think we've talked about this before as well, the idea of you have to get burned before you learn your lesson. And that's how it was for me. I had to learn patience the hard way. Was that the same thing for you? Losing money, has that always been the best teacher for you?
It's basically a gift from the market. You have to lose money in trading. It's just trading is something that you learn by giving your money to the market. And people you can trade on a demo account, which is fine,
right?
But you won't really feel that emotion on that level whenever you're trading a big account, whenever you're trading your own hard-earned personal income. So
and
for me,
go ahead.
So for me, I was just, I realized that, and it took me quite some time to realize that a few years ago, I was so emotional. Every trade that I placed was based on emotion and not on a system.
Right.
Every single trade based on emotion. Oh, it's going up, buy it. Oh, gold is falling, sell it. And so it just, there's no logic in that. And that's why having a system is so important, because it kind of structuralize everything that I needed in my life. But at the same time, my emotions are so out there, so I have to control them, be self-aware of them, and know that the system is great, it's really profitable, But if you're losing still, you're the problem, bro. Like you're the reason why you're losing.
Dude, I'm
I
proud
think
of
a
you
lot of
for
people.
stepping up and being accountable to yourself in that way. It's cool to see you grow. And I'm thinking as you're talking, I'm like, imagine in 5 years what our videos are going to be like then. You're going to have such a large account. You're going to be so picky. You're going to be like, I can't even imagine being the guy that I was when I was 18-year-old Jace, clicking every trade. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
just to touch on it one more time before we get into the chart, it is so hard to come to a business with hope that you're going to make more money. You come to the business with hope that you're going to achieve financial freedom and not have to work a regular job and be able to live the life that you want to live. In your case, be able to drive a Tesla, whatever everybody wants to do. You come to the market to achieve those goals. You think then by clicking the button and making trades, not making money, making trades, you're going to achieve that goal. But that isn't the case. The only way you achieve that goal is if you place winning trades. It takes a lot of discipline. And like you said, it takes a really solid system. I tweeted out yesterday, it's hard. On top of all of it, it's hard.
It is hard. Like at least it was hard for me. Like the emotional status of humans, like at least this is from my perspective, it's just like, bro, like we're addicted to stuff. We're addicted to alcohol. We're addicted to drugs. And like when people see this, like the addiction of gambling, like it's a new perspective of trading because literally, like I remember whenever I was like 15 or I think 16, I placed $100 account. I flipped it to $200. So I made $100 in a day. I was like, this is easy. Like I could literally, I withdrew that money the same day and put it into my bank account. And that just kind of like shocked me because of like, oh, I can make money and then I can keep that in my bank account and just like buy whatever I want. So I think it's just so addicting whenever you're seeing that money process where you're actually making money on stupid trades and then you're continuing on and trying to just basically do the same thing over and over again. Like it's not, that's not how it works at all. Like there's no way.
Yeah, making money on those stupid trades it leaves you in a position where you might make money short term, but over the long run, you now have bad habits and you're probably losing more trades than you're winning, right?
Yeah, it's just so like people don't understand like why an actual system is so important. Like people trade off support and resistance zones, which is fine. The risk reward is nutty, and like each trade is going to be different. It's going to be so different, and so like having a binary system that most of the time like exactly when to enter, when to exit, how much you risk on it, what is the risk reward, bro? That's so important. Like that's the most important thing whenever it comes into trading because again, like you're emotional. So whenever you're emotional and you're basically trading your own strategy, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna put my take profit to 1 to 6R. Hopefully it hits that, or I'm gonna put my stop loss 100 pips. There's no way it's gonna hit that, and then eventually it does hit it, and then you blow your account. So like that's why it's having a system is so important too, is because like it kind of negate a little bit, like kind of like not, it doesn't basically put your emotions on high end. As if you're trading your own
keeps
strategy.
your emotions in check because even if you're feeling emotional, you can kind of get yourself back to the trading plan and follow that. Even if and that's what I think awareness, like that's why I talk a lot about the meditation and the space that you need from your trading, just to be aware of the feelings that you're having versus the decisions that you're making. Two separate things. They don't impact each other. The decisions that you make should follow the system. So let's talk to everybody about the system, since some people are probably like, okay, guys, we hear you saying system and strategy all the time. How do you actually implement that? So yesterday, this is Euro AUD. You had a setup here where price came back down to a pretty significant level at the Asian low. Price was like 162.65. It also comes down to this white line, which is the 200 EMA. When it came down here, you found a long opportunity using the D1 entry system on the 1 minute chart. How big was your stop loss on this setup?
I think it was like a few pips. It was like, I know I was risking a couple of lots. So I think it was like 7 or 8 pips, I believe, around that.
Got it. Now, when this trade moved for you, at most, how many pips did that move into profit? What was the R multiple that it moved up? About 2R for you?
2.5R. It was like around 2.5R toward the high.
So something like that is what your trade looked like. What ended up happening, unfortunately, was that it came back down and you did well. And we're going to talk about my trade today and how we both did the same thing, basically, which shows the strategy. But you did well to lock your stop loss in profit. So when it came back down here, you didn't run the risk of this stopping you out. You didn't run the risk of going red. And you do that faster than most people. So tell us why. Why do you move your stops so quickly? Because this dude DM'd me today and he said to me about my trade we're going to talk about in a minute. He said, why would you move your stop and only take a 0.2% win? And I could have managed better today. I should have closed a little bit as I was up 1R. But when I moved my stop, I said to him, I'm like, you know what? I was comfortable, because his point was, if you were comfortable with the risk to take the trade, why lock the stop? And I said, because as the trade changes, as the market develops, if it's a less probable trade, I don't want to lose the trade. I don't care if it's a small loss or a big loss. I don't want any loss. That's just me. But why do you move your stop so quick? And how does that help you?
I think it's just like, I used to be a swing trader before I joined ASFX, so I would
Okay.
not even lock my stop into profit. I'll have like a big stop and just wait for like it to hit my take profit. So like I do swing trading and day trading, but
Got it.
mostly day trading. So
Got it.
whenever I day trade, like my mindset is income. It's basically like whenever I place a trade, if it's a high probable trade, it's all about income, like daily income if I can
And
have
not
it. So
losing income, right? Like, so you're
exactly,
securing the
you're
bag
not,
is what you're trying to say.
yeah, like not trying to like securing my profits, capitalize on the market moves. Like why would
Right.
I not capitalize on that? Like
Right.
I want to make sure that like as a trader, like the number one rule should be not to lose money. Capitalize
Yes.
on the market, but
100%.
not to lose money.
100%.
And so for me, like I'm not gonna lose money, even on a like C setup. Like even though it stops me out, at least I made money. Like I don't care. At least
100%.
I made some money off it.
Now, let's talk about what happens later as this trade stops you out. You do this again, another thing you do really well. You were like, okay, that trade is done. Now you're looking for the next idea. It didn't present another idea for you before it took off. So how did you sit and watch this thing go higher and higher and higher towards high of day and not be in it? How do you stay? Is that just going back to what we all just talked about not feeling your emotions, basically?
Yeah, I mean, if you're feeling emotional and you want, like, you're literally about to click that button, like,
Mhm.
slap your wrist out of the way and stop. Like, bro, stop. Why are you so, like, quit being addicted, like an addicted freaking person to just get out of the charts, go do something nice, go to the park, go walk your dog, go kiss your girlfriend high or something like
Dude,
that.
you know how many people, it's
Don't-
funny, listen, there's a lot of people that are going to hear what you're saying and they're going to be like, dude, Jace doesn't know what he's talking about. Jace, I'm here. They're probably clicking off the video right now because they're like, I'm here for trading content. Why is Jace telling me to go hang out and live my life? And it's like, because once you start trading a lot and you actually understand the effort and the energy that you have to put into trading, you realize that while it is important, it isn't the most important thing because you're doing it for a bigger reason. You're doing it for that lifestyle. And if you don't go live your life, win or while as you're winning or losing in your trading, it becomes almost pointless, you know? So I think you make a great point. Was this the 1 minute divergence that you were looking at here?
So, yeah, it was, yeah, I believe that was it. So,
My
basically,
question, yeah, my question for you was with this coming lower here and here, lower lows, when it breaks here and that's where you're looking for a position, is the stop there because it has not given you a more recent structure point? Is that why the stop goes there?
give me 1 second so I can look at my quick markup. But I
Yeah,
believe
take
I
your
put
time.
my stop. I put my stop. I didn't put my stop as a risk reward kind of a trade because I knew, like, first of all, whenever I saw the trade, yeah, I put it all the way down toward the pin low of the divergence structure.
Down
So
here.
not,
Got it.
yeah, yeah. So for me, I didn't really want to kind of like, usually whenever I trade that higher low is whenever I'm really sure that it's a high probable trade and I can get like good risk reward. And
Right.
so, like, yeah, the liquid 50 was rising with momentum and I saw the
Yep.
momentum came in, but
Yep.
at the same time, like the liquid 50 on the 50-minute was falling. So I wasn't going to risk like probably like 15, like, I don't know how much it was, like 4 or 5 pips on that, just because I knew that, you know, with the swapping liquid 50, like that's momentum. Like the momentum is pushing the liquid 50 all the way down, which in turn price, from what I've seen, price action is going to follow that liquid 50, not right away, but in a general direction on the 50-minute, you can clearly see the momentum coming in. So
Yeah.
I was careful on that because I knew that, you know, if I, you know, with this quick momentum trade, like I saw the momentum, like the liquid 50 was rising and the 50-minute liquid 50 was falling. So
Got it.
on the 1 minute, once I saw the liquid 50 rising, and then I saw those big bullish candles, like anticipation of, you know, small ranging candles, and then one big bullish candle, and then a liquid 50 rising up with the TL and the RSI.
There's your
And
bell,
so
bro. Stocks are
that's
open.
stocks are open.
So when this 15-minute liquid 50 falls into the sell zone, as you were saying, what I've found is that because it's in the buy zone more of the day than it's in reset or than it's in the sell zone, the move tends to still go in the direction that it spends most of the day in. But often when it comes down into this reset position, it makes that move later in the day. So let me show you what I mean, because it actually happened on GBP AUD. So look, same quote pair that you were trading on Euro AUD. This is GA yesterday. I was looking for longs because of the TDI, but notice what the TDI does. The L50 drops into the sell zone here. You see that? Overnight, staying in the sell zone, but then coming back into the buy zone. So it told me that we were probably going to get a move higher because the L50 was in the buy zone all day yesterday. And knowing that this is an AUD pair, it picked up that move in the Asian session, which is kind of what you anticipate almost, right? And now much higher, right? Even after that move from overnight last night with a big Asian range. This pair has a lot of ADR too. It's in the 200s. So that's why you're seeing so much movement. But I think it's cool to see, even with this perfect liquid 50 for everybody watching, what I think we should be trying to do, and you can see it on Jace's trade yesterday and my trade today, yesterday into today, with this L50, if it holds the buy zone or sell zone for a long period of time, it then comes into reset, don't give up on the idea. See if it can pick back up into that trend. Almost look at this brief switch as a pause. You know what I mean? It's just a pause. Look at price action on like a bigger level, and you can see yesterday was just consolidation. When it broke this level here, look what it did. It came right back to it and retested. And that's what created the D1 idea today that you guys see I have all marked up here. So just to compare it to your idea, Jace, there's my divergence from this morning. Very similar to yesterday on EA.
Something I would say though on that, so whenever I see the liquid 50, basically like it's in the buy zone, goes into the sell zone for a short period of time, and then goes up again, I call that noise. For me, it's noise. With the market ranging like that, you can clearly see it's been ranging. So that's market noise. That it's not really a clear direction. But if I want to see a clear direction, I go to the 1 hour and see where we're at. Because if the liquid 50 is holding the buy zone, which I believe it is, it was. Yeah, it was holding the buy zone. That gives me a better kind of perspective on the higher.
So when you're seeing chop, you zoom out. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's a good tip. I like that a lot. And I think the way you call it noise is a good way. We should start labeling that, because if you read, like, again, I'm big on this idea of reading it left to right lately, right? If you read left to right from yesterday, long bias, long bias, long bias, long bias. But we know, like you said, it's chop. So it's like nothing changed this to a short bias. If anything, the L50 picked up and made it more long biased overnight. You know what I mean? So I think you just can not overlook it, but keep the bias that's stronger. You know what I'm saying? When you see swapping setups like that.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly.
So let's talk about this idea. This is GBP USD. This was an idea that we were looking at today. Do you find yourself taking advantage of any D2 opportunities? Because I feel like I don't hear you talking about D2 trades often.
I only take D2 trades kind of like on the higher time frames.
Okay.
So I mean, like, not on the higher time frames. My bad, but like I look for really good high probable setups for D2s. Like, you know, it has to be coming off a significant level. It has to be having like multiple confirmations on the higher time frames, and then on the smaller time frames, I look for my entry if I can find one. So,
how low will you go for a D2? Because like for me, I really like staying on the 15-minute. For some reason, like I have a hard. Some of the guys were talking about like buying GJ down here today. I have a hard time picking that as the bottom just because it's this level from yesterday. I'm much better on like ideas like this with GU, where I have the divergence, the break, retest, and now you could see the extension up to the 200 or higher. That's where I find my best D2s.
So for me, like I really don't like placing like whenever I'm trading A1s, of course, like I'm always going to trade on the 15-minute, but D2s on the 15-minute, like the risk to reward, it's like for me, like I want to see more better risk to reward. So that's
why. Are you going to say that it gets in your way because when you measure on the 15-minute, the 200 EMA is never far away enough?
Yeah, like EMAs are always going to be in the way. So I try to like basically like I know how to identify structure on the 1 minute really well, and how the liquid 50 pulls that structure upwards or downwards. So I can be able to basically take really good risk reward opportunities on the 1 minute based on that D1 or D2 idea. So I'm able to do that, but you know, it doesn't. I don't think like for me like the pairs that I do really well, or I've traded for a long time, like USD JPY and Euro USD. I do really well with those because I know how the structure works on the higher time frames and on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute. So, but whenever I'm trying to trade maybe JPCHF or JPAUD, it's much more different because every pair is uniquely different on opportunities. And so, 100%. Like that's why I just try sticking to. Like if I see a really good opportunity, like for example, I'll be trading a lot of USD JPY, D2s and D1s. Yep. That's just basically because I'm really confident in like my level of experience of trading that specific pair. And I know exactly what the structure is going to do and what direction it's going to anticipate in the next couple of days and stuff like that.
So I found this interesting on GU, but then I want to go back to GA on talking about how you're good at reading 1 minute structure. I have bearish divergence back here, which would signal potential shorts. But as you can see, it chopped sideways. And one of the guys, Nick, pointed out that this RSI is actually rising here. So then you go bearish divergence to bullish divergence, right? From the bullish divergence, it breaks here, pulls the L50 into the buy zone here. What's this? A retest of the 50, right? Higher low off the divergent bottom. And now with the L50 in the buy zone, looks pretty bullish, doesn't it?
Yeah, for me, if I see that, the only way I'll take that, like obviously the only way I'll take it is if the higher time frames are speaking bullish and it's, on the 15-minute, it looks really good. But typically, if I just see divergence both ways, and like that's just basically noise to me. Like it's just ranging.
But I think I like this is where I like going left to right. Yeah. I like looking at it left to right, because then I would say that divergence that was bearish is over now that the bullish divergence is in. And then because I have this 15-minute D2 setup, when I see this on the 1 minute, this is what I like to see, because now I've gone 15 to 1 minute, and now we're kind of layering. It's almost like the D1 ideas, which is, like I said, I wanted to go to GA, which was my trade this morning. So this morning, when I found the entry on the 1 minute, I ended up taking a position. This is my second idea that you see marked up here. This is what I was saying to you. I didn't get back in, even though I should have, clearly. I took the entry, I believe it was like right here, and I used this as the stop at the bottom, and I got in somewhere in there. It ended up coming up to about 1 hour of profit, and it ended up coming back down because I moved my stop loss into profit when it went up 1 hour, and I ended up not taking anything. So my biggest error, and it's in my notes, I just don't have them pulled up, was that maybe it's because I'm a little rusty since I haven't traded since the beginning of September, but on C setups, like I graded this idea, I should be closing at least half the trade at 1 R, and I didn't do that. All I did was I locked my stop, and I only share that because I'm, like you said, I'm susceptible to emotions like every other human. I looked at the 15-minute today. I saw the big Asian range. I saw the breakout above yesterday's high. I saw it using that level of support. I was like, this is going ADR. I'm married to this, and it ended up me just taking a very small win now instead of taking a decent, or, a little bit more out of that. And on top of that, I think if I had managed the first position better, I would have been more inclined to take this second entry, just because I would have already made a little bit more money on it. I'd be like, yeah, let me get another one, see if I can take some more risk. That's just me in hindsight trying to do better every day. But I still think I had a pretty good read on this one this morning.
Oh, you did. Yeah, definitely. I think market, like last couple of weeks, market has been crap. Next couple of days that I've seen, market has been volatile, but some clear direction, like more clear direction that I've seen in the past couple of like weeks from like this month specifically. So for me, like I try changing my trading style a little bit differently whenever the market.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, what are you doing now going forward because of the way that the market's kind of changed over the last couple of weeks? I know you've shifted into indices. That's what you were trading this morning a little bit, you're saying, right? Shifted into some stocks. What else? Where's your mindset?
So with October, like October is going to be one of my best. October and mid-November are usually like my best months, in September as well.
Right.
September, I do pretty good. October, I do really, really good. And then November, I do decent. So with my mindset, like I'm not going to like just say, oh, just because the last couple of years I've done really well on these months.
Right.
So
that's what I was going to say.
Aggressive.
Hopefully you do good all 3 months, this year.
Yeah, so like I'm not gonna like basically be aggressive on the start of the month. Like I have to see indications. Like obviously, like if there's a lot of opportunities out there, really good opportunities, I'm gonna take it. Right. But if I see like the market is just like it's been this month, I'm not gonna be aggressive for no reason.
Right.
So typically, like I said again, like for like my shit for October, it's gonna be more into Forex and I guess not that much in indices because I'm gonna be doing another 100K FTMO challenge. Which guys, if you guys want to see it. YouTube channel, link in description.
Yeah. We'll definitely link it. How are you going to be filming that? What's your plan for that?
So I'm going to plan on doing the live stream like in the mornings and then do like a kind of like a recap vlog video in the afternoons and then upload it during the evenings or probably like the next day.
Are you going to film and upload the same day? That was my question.
Yeah. Cause like, I mean, I'll try to like, hopefully like, maybe if I don't have a lot of time,
so
but
all the other people that I've seen do that challenge, they always all wait till they finish it before they post it. They never post it like they're daily vlogging it. You know what I'm saying? I found that interesting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be live streaming too. So it's gonna be like that's why I want to make sure that I'm completely focused. Like, I'm not going to be super aggressive whenever it comes to Forex, because like that's a 100K challenge. And I would just want to trade like the really most high probable good setups.
Do you think you
But
can
it's
still do you think you can still beat the challenge not being that aggressive? Because that's what everybody always asks about FTMO and about the other challenge things. They always are like, how do I be, risk appropriate, but not be over trading
well, I'm going to be risking
to
2%.
make the challenge? Yeah.
I'm going to be risking 2% per trade. So I'm not going to be risking like 1%. Like I'm only going to trade.
How many
really
trades could you
setups.
lose then? Like if you lose 2 trades in a row off the jump, would you lose the challenge? What's the drawdown level?
So it's 5% max daily loss. So if you lose more than 5%, you lose on the challenge. And then if it's 10% on the max account, you lose. So like for me, like I'm okay, because like I know my risk. Like I know 2% is, yeah, like if I lose on that trade, then on my next trade, I'm gonna have to be risk appropriate, because if I lose on that trade, that's 4% down. So I am basically
Right.
like I have to make sure, like if I'm trading on the same day, of course. But so like for me, I'm fine with risking 2% if it's really high probable setups, because I think with like the market hopefully shifting into like a really hot market next month, I think that I could take advantage of those opportunities, and as well as quickly pass the challenge. So hopefully like my kind of like I passed the challenge before in a month, but like I don't know how next month is going to be. So
right, you got to just take the trades that come.
Yeah, but my ideal, like I guess like kind of like challenge, I'm challenging myself to pass on 1 month specifically, because just to show people that it can be done in 1 month.
Dude, I'm excited for you.
It's hard, but it can definitely be done. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. So.
Dude, I'm going to be giving you all types of shout outs, sending everybody to the vlogs. I hope that you film and post in the same day. I think people would find a lot of value in that. But for today, I think this is a good place we wrap it. I think we're going to need to touch base as we go into next month and keep people updated on your challenge. We'll keep doing videos here, maybe that kind of direct people over to your page. But for everybody still watching, we thank you for sitting through with us. We hope that we brought you some value talking about the trades that we've taken over the last couple of days during the slower market period. It'll be cool to be able to look back on this when markets pick back up and say, remember when everybody was bitching about it being slow and now it's every day, 2-3 trades a day? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but anyway, I appreciate it, Jace. I appreciate your time always, bro. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, and for everybody watching, make sure you follow Jace and subscribe to his channel. I'm going to put the link down in the description.